Hey ladies and gentlemen, Stephen here from Redolessence and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it and I hope that this video finds you well. So here we are in today's episode, a brand new 2020 release. This one by Vince Camuto is called Terra Extreme. So make sure to stay tuned. Now before I begin the video, I just want to say that if you like this type of content, if you like fragrance reviews, top 10 lists, giveaways, unboxings, pretty much anything fragrance related, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. And also please make sure to enable notifications by clicking on that bell icon in the corner. This way you are kept up to date on all of my future videos. So here we have it, a brand new release for 2020 by Vince Camuto. Terra Extreme is its name. Of course, there was the original Vince Camuto for men, and there's also Vince Camuto Terra, which is a little bit more leaning on the mandarin and the bergamot and the grapefruit. So here we have the extreme version, which has this brown aged rum accord in there. And so I remember looking at the note breakdown online on Amazon, as a matter of fact, and I thought, okay, this seems pretty interesting. It has this boozy nuance about it. It seems a little bit darker, definitely woodsy leaning. It also has a sandalwood note, which is found in the original Terra as well. And it also has this creaminess of vanilla and tonka bean. And so I said, okay, the note breakdown seems pretty interesting. And typically when companies put out an extreme or intense or noir version of their fragrance, it's usually, not all the time, but it's usually an improvement over the original. And so with Vince Camuto Terra Extreme, I was really interested to see if that would be the case with this particular fragrance. And here I am hoping and having my fingers crossed that it is. Actually, I already have the insight. I've been testing this one for quite a bit. I'm really excited to tell you what I get from the smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. So the box for this fragrance is really nice. It kind of has the impression of this wax melt here on the front, which is kind of the signature of Vince Camuto. It also has the crest on the inside, and it does have this faux leather feel. The name of the company and the fragrance is written on the top of the box. The serial number is printed on the bottom of the box in black ink. And your ingredients may be located on the back of the box. Here is the bottle. I think it looks really nice. Aesthetically, it does match the box. All of your information may be located on the bottom of the bottle. The cap for this fragrance does click into place very securely. You can pick it up from the cap. And the distribution on the atomizer is a little bit narrow, but it gets the job done. Let's continue with the smell. So the opening of this fragrance is really where you are going to get the most interesting component of it. So it has this aged brown rum accord. And you know, rum is a spicy ingredient in the sense that there are a lot of spices used in the fermentation of rum and certain alcoholic spirits. So this one does actually contain nutmeg, and I believe the original contains nutmeg as well. And so it could be a little bit of that working and weaving its way through this composition, sort of giving off that impression. But the more I smell it, the more I'm actually starting to focus and hone in on that vanilla and the tonka bean that's used in here. And I had to keep going back to it and thinking to myself, what does this remind me of? What does this remind me of? Eventually, a light bulb went on in my head, and I realized that this actually does have remnants of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Eau Fraiche. Now, of course, it's Le Male Eau Fraiche, Superman Eau Fraiche, Popeye Eau Fraiche, you know, that sort of collection where, you know, every year they release a different collector's edition of it, where it has that sweetness. It has a little bit of this minty tonka bean vanilla thing going on in there, but it has the spiciness in the opening that sets it apart, with little touches of cinnamon as well. And I feel like the cinnamon can easily be lost and forgotten about because it kind of makes its way and its inclusion into the fragrance a little bit more obscured by the fact that you have these sweeter ingredients in the base. And so you have that sweetness in the opening, but you're not entirely sure where it's coming from. It's not like a Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo, where it kind of smells like, you know, a hearty dose of cinnamon, or it smells like tiramisu or something like that. You're not necessarily getting the same thing here. So if you're looking for a cinnamon bomb, this isn't it. I just feel like this is almost, imagine taking Superman Eau Fraiche by Jean Paul Gaultier, right? Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Superman Eau Fraiche, and adding this really nice yet ephemeral rum accord in the opening. And I feel like that is the only pitfall of this fragrance, because it smells great. It's a very likable fragrance. It's one that I see myself wearing all year round. I think it would make a perfect office scent. Even those daring notes that are in here, those extreme notes that are in here, are not too extreme in the sense that it limits the wearability or the versatility of the fragrance. However, I feel as though had they been a little bit more amplified, a little bit more extreme, it would have created a more unique, original, and more intriguing aroma as opposed to the one that is housed in this bottle right now. This one does smell good, don't get me wrong. I find this to be a very, very pleasant fragrance. I think this one can be worn with ease. I also feel like this is the type of fragrance that would get you a lot of compliments as well. And I'm happy with my purchase. You know, I bought this from Macy's not too long ago. I'm very happy with my purchase. However, on the flip side, I was hoping for something a little bit more unique and a little bit more original based off of the note breakdown. And I think that there are a lot of things about the note breakdown that inspired a feeling of optimism. The cinnamon, the rum, the vanilla, the sandalwood. The tonka bean, okay, I was a little apprehensive about because I was like, okay, maybe this is going to throw it in the genre of those typical men's fragrances that we encounter ever so often, right? The Versace Eroses of the world or the Invictus Aquas of the world. And there's a teeny tiny amount going on of that in here. However, you're not really going to notice it until the deep dry down of the fragrance, which is kind of where we're going with this right here. But as of what I'm getting from the smell still is almost something in the wheelhouse of Le Male Superman Eau Fraiche, however, with a little bit more of a spiciness in the opening, and one that, as far as marketing is concerned, you can twist it into a rum accord because obviously you can't put, you know, certain alcoholic spirits into a fragrance. You can't distill the essence of rum or vodka or anything like that. You could probably do a headspace analysis, but really what you're going to pick up on are the molecules that are found in the spices that are used in the fermentation of that alcoholic spirit. And so anyways, there you have it. Very pleasant scent, very youthful smelling, contemporary, kind of in line with what's going on in the industry as of late, but still very pleasant, very easy to wear. And I think it's also the type of fragrance that you can get a few compliments from. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I truly don't find this to be a very unique fragrance. I do feel like it does harken back to a lot of other fragrances that predated it, and I think rightfully so. I think as a brand, Vince Camuto has every right to scan the industry and see what's popular, see what's selling well, see what's easy to wear, and see what people are typically drawn towards. And I think that there's such a small percentage of the community that is really into the deep and dark and daring and sensual and challenging, pushing the envelope sorts of scents. You know, not everybody wants to smell like a barnyard, and neither do I, believe me. And so I do find this fragrance to be rather pleasant. However, I just don't feel like it reinvents the wheel. In terms of the overall smell though, you know, it's one that is going to do very, very well. Longevity on this one was pretty good. I got about 6 to 7 hours on my skin. Projection of it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it didn't become a skin scent until about that 5-hour mark. So when you think about it, will it get you through a workday? Yes, it will. Is it fleeting performance? Not necessarily, but it's also not beast mode in the sense that it radiates beyond an arm's length and gets you noticed throughout the entire day from day to night. It won't necessarily do that, but it will get you about 6 hours longevity. In terms of the versatility, I do find this one to be incredibly versatile because I feel like that rum accord in the opening is not a conflict when it comes to the versatility. It's not overly strong, or it doesn't make you feel like an alcoholic or a lush or anything like that. So very pleasant, and I feel like this one can lean a little feminine as well. If you typically it leans masculine. It has a lot of these traditionally contemporarily used masculine ingredients in it, but again, you know, just recommendations. Feel free to do with your money what you'd like. And I also feel like this one has more of a casual vibe, more of an office vibe. If you're wearing a suit and tie, I would probably reach for something with a little bit more citrus, maybe something a little bit more woodsy, maybe something with a few spices in it, not necessarily something that is so heavy on the vanilla and the tonka bean, right? And the creamy sweet sandalwood. And then in terms of the presentation, I actually really like the presentation. There's just something about the beauty of the simplicity of having a square bottle. It looks elegant, it looks masculine, it looks timeless, and I also like this faux leather look here on the front. final verdict on this fragrance is, in terms of a 2020 release, it is a decent release. Is this a more extreme version of the original Terra? I think it is. Is this the most unique or original fragrance? Not necessarily. And I feel like a lot of people who are in the know and they've smelled tons of fragrances already, once they smell this one, they're going to say, oh, I've smelled this before, right? Or it's going to jog your memory somewhat. But all in all, if you are getting into it, clean slate, you just want to buy something that smells good, you're going to get complimented with, it's safe to wear in the office, gives you decent performance from it, also quite versatile in terms of seasons, you're wearing it in a climate-controlled environment, check it out. You know, you have nothing to lose. But I ended up purchasing this one from my local Macy's, and so you can always go ahead and take a trip to Macy's if you have one in your area and you can smell it for yourself. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Vince Camuto's Terra Extreme. If you own or have tried this fragrance, I would love to know what you think. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos. And of course, that includes fragrance reviews just like this, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, interviews with perfumers, and a whole lot more. Thanks again for watching. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.